And welcome back to another episode of Treasure Seekers Virtual Adventures. My name is Sarah with an H, and I'll be your host again today. Today's episode, we have another guest being interviewed. We have Amanda Collett, who is a well-known sheller in the area, and she is an author of a book. We will show you more about her book here in a minute. Amanda's going to help us demonstrate one of the most commonly asked questions we get on our tours. How do I clean my shells? How do I get it to stop stinking? How do I get the barnacles off? How do I get it to shine again once I get it home? All those things we're gonna demonstrate for you today with a couple different tips about what to do, what not to do. Now please, I have to put this disclaimer out there. We are not professional chemists, so please make sure you read warning labels and follow the manufacturer instructions for all the chemicals you use. Don't dispose of it in any other way than the manufacturer recommends. But anyway, guys, follow us online. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Follow us on social media so you can see all of our daily finds. Let's get started. All right, everybody, so we're here with Amanda Collett. Amanda, thank you so much for being with us today. Now, I mentioned in our intro that you have written a book. Tell me about your book, what it's called, where somebody can find it if they want to read it.
It's My Way of Shelling, and you could find it on Amazon or bookbaby.com.
Okay, great.
Or reach me directly.
Okay, awesome. And Amanda also works with Treasure Seekers as a part-time shell guide as well, and she's part of our social media team, as I mentioned, so definitely reach out to us if you have any questions. We're going to get started with this beautiful table of shells. Now, why don't you give us an overview of some of the basic methods? Like, what are the most common methods of cleaning that people use?
Okay. It's actually really easy, but we're going to be using muriatic acid today, okay? And that's the last choice. I don't really like to use it, but that's the last case scenario, okay? Normally when I get all my shells and I get home, I'm going to put them in a 5-gallon bucket, and I'm actually going to spray them with water hose just to get the sand off and just the extra little things. And then I'm going to rinse that out, then I'm going to refill this bucket, and I'm going to use whatever dish soap I have at home.
Dish soap, okay.
Yeah, just your dish soap, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And then you're just going to rinse them again, okay? Then you're going to put them in another container, rinse them out with their water, clean water. And then you're just going to put them out and let them dry.
Okay.
So normally after they dry, then you're just going to add mineral oil to them.
Mineral oil.
Mineral oil,
okay.
Yes, you're going to do that, and that gives them their shine. But if they're calcium buildup, they don't look so good. That's why we use the muriatic acid. And the way we use this is we use 3 cups of water and 1 cup of acid.
Okay.
And then you have your fresh water, because after you dip your shell, you're going to immediately dip it in the fresh water and then put it on the towel to dry.
Okay, so you got acid mixture and then just straight water from tap.
Yes.
And then lay it out to dry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But you got to be so careful with this, and you want to store it properly, use it properly. And if you notice, we're outside in a vented area.
Yes.
But it's really dangerous. I recommend you wear long sleeve shirts. I recommend you have gloves.
Yeah,
so
tell
important.
us about your protective gear here. You've got rubber gloves, I see.
Yes.
And goggles.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have a mask.
And a mask, okay.
Yeah, because you want to be safe with this, because it can burn you.
Right.
Okay.
And we would recommend you do this outdoors.
Yes.
Preferably, because there's fumes that'll come out, and we'll get to see that in a second. It's really cool.
Yes, you'll see. Okay, there's only one shell that I do not use the acid on, and it's the lettered olive.
Okay, now tell me why.
Okay, the lettered olive, when we find them, they're normally slick and glossy. But what causes the slick and glossy is because the snail covers his shell, and his little foot makes him easy to go through the sand. So the sand keeps him like sanded, okay?
Oh, so he's already polished already.
He's already polished.
Okay.
So you don't want to acid him because it would damage him.
Okay. No dipping in the acid for shiny shells.
No,
Got
exactly. It. But everything else, if you want to dip, that's okay. You just got to do it properly, or you will ruin your shell.
Okay.
And I taught myself all that, and I've ruined many. So.
Yeah, so don't start with one that you love. Maybe start with a practice one.
Exactly. Yeah, don't do that. So we're going to wear our goggles.
Okay.
You don't want to get in your eyes, okay?
Right.
Then we're going to put our mask on.
Okay.
When you dip the shell, you do not want to inhale this.
Okay.
It's really bad. So let's get the mask on.
Great.
Yeah. So we're going to show you guys how to get some pretty shells.
So this is going to be a demonstration of the muriatic acid dipping process. So we mentioned already soap and water is a good method, and we'll talk a little bit about bleach later. We get a lot of questions about bleach water, but this is the most extensive process to clean those calcium built up shells. So that's what we're demonstrating now. Okay, so again, we've got the acid mixture here, and we've got pure water here, and then a dry towel and mineral oil after they're dry will kind of shine them. Right.
That's what gives you the coating.
Good.
Okay, so here we go. Let's start with the barnacle. We got more, no worries. Start with the barnacle, and you're also, guys, you want to use tongs. Keep it as far away from you as you can.
Now, I notice you're using long tongs. Now, grilling tongs have been recommended too because they're longer than normal, like salad tongs. So that's a good, thing. You've got long ones, yeah.
I call this like a science project. Okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we're going to dip our shell. And you only want to leave it in for 3 seconds, okay? That's it. So here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
We're going to put it in our water.
Okay.
Okay. You can see it's turned a different color.
Yeah, it's deeper purple.
Yes, it's a deeper purple. We're going to put him over here to dry. Okay. Then you have your horse conch.
Ooh.
This is a juvenile, which is
medium.
Yes, and it's also our state shell. This is actually my favorite size. So we're going to dip him. Then we're going to put him over in the water, give him a fresh rinse, and then we're going to put him out to dry. Look how pretty.
Beautiful.
Okay, now we're going to go to one. If you have one that looks a little rough, okay, let's go with. He's a little.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go with this guy.
Crown conchs?
No, I'm gonna go with this guy.
Oh, look at the size of that murex. Can we just appreciate the size of this apple murex right here? Sorry.
Yes. It's
fangirling. Okay.
Here we go.
Ooh, lots of texture on this one. I love the murexes.
Me too. So we're gonna rinse him.
Wow. Look at the color on this. Can you see in the lid? Can you turn him a little bit? Do you see the colors that have just popped out?
Yes. Now, and let me tell you this, if you have a shell and it still has a little bit of acid buildup on it, what we do is we take a brush. So let's get one that's a little bit worse and see what we can do with that. Okay, this one's got some buildup, pretty good buildup, you know. So let's dip him. And you can move it around if you like. Now we're going to give him a fresh wash, rinse.
Wow.
Okay.
That's so bright.
It is. And actually, see, I didn't even realize he really wasn't too bad as far as the buildup. So I'm not going to scrub him.
Now the acid's changing color here. That's normal, right?
That is normal.
Okay.
Yes.
So it'll get a little cloudy after a while.
Yes, exactly. Okay. This guy's pretty bad. Let's try him.
Okay.
Okay. Let's give him a rinse. Okay. So if we think he's maybe not as bright as he should be, what we're going to do is you're going to take just a wire brush, okay?
Okay.
We're going to take this guy.
Like a grill brush?
Yes, like a grill brush.
Okay.
And then what you want to do is just kind of scrub him. You just want to scrub on him and scratch him. You don't want to really put him back in the acid, okay? Because the acid does damage. So you're just going to scrub on him. It's like, you can be a little aggressive. It's okay.
All right.
Just want to scrub on him.
Yeah, I can see how you wouldn't want to do this with an olive.
No.
The olives are so shiny, this would totally mar that coating.
Yeah, it would ruin him. So we're just
rinse.
giving him another rinse, yeah. Then we're going to put him out.
So pretty.
Okay, yep. Okay, and I'm sure you guys are curious about, okay, we got our horse conch since we were talking about those as well. This guy, he's all natural. And, well, he's got some of his skin gone, but we got barnacles, okay?
Barnacles, yes. That's a good question. A lot of people ask us, how do I get the barnacles off?
Yes. And some people won't pick up a shell because they got this on it, but it's no problem, okay?
Right.
First, with the barnacles, I like to soak them in bleach. And then if they still don't come off after you hit them, and when I hit them, I just use a tool. I get a pick at Walmart.
An old butter knife or something.
You can use a butter knife, yep. Or you can get a pick in the toothpaste section and just do whatever you need to do there.
Dental picks?
Dental
very
picks.
Popular,
That's
yes.
It. That's it. Well, let's try to give him just a little dip where his barnacles are, okay?
Okay.
I'm actually going to do him Let's do him this way.
So our bowl isn't quite deep enough to fit this whole shell. You could do this process in a 5-gallon bucket, right, with the plastic. Now our bowls are glass, so you can see through and see the process, but you could do this in a plastic container as well, just so you know, if you have a really big shell. Hopefully you do.
Yeah.
But that'll work just as well in a 5-gallon bucket.
But you can see where the color changed, just where we did. Okay. So then you're going to take them to the side, and you can see how easy this is. This is not hard to do. You take your instrument and you're going to knock your barnies off, okay?
Wow, look at that.
Yep, you're just going to knock them off. Okay, now you see where he is still has his natural skin, right? So what you want to do is you can soak him again. Let's just try a little soak here.
It's like under the barnacle, there's still some...
Yes, still skin underneath the barnacle, okay? So you can soak him, rinse him, okay? Then you can just keep working on him. You can keep doing that and just keep doing your... get your barnacles off. But now, if you want these barnacles off and you don't want this black stuff, his skin, what you do is you take your big bucket, your 5-gallon bucket, you're going to put water in there, and you're going to put like a half a gallon of bleach, okay? And you can leave him as long as you want. It's not like an overnight. I mean, you can leave him up to 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
But when you pull him out, he's going to be your white, completely white cream, okay? But now, if you want him to look natural, you're going to leave his skin on him. And that's what all this black-brown stuff is.
Yes.
Do not put him in bleach, okay?
So the bleach will completely dissolve that periostracum, the skin, the membrane that's on the shell. So if you find like super dark chocolate alphabet cones, right, that have that membrane on it. We talked about alphabet cones in our last episode. If you want it to stay natural and keep the skin on it, you don't want to use bleach or acid.
No.
So, only do that if you want it to come off, because it will dissolve. So it'll come out to this beautiful... Now, a lot of people ask if bleach is going to take the color out of their shells.
It can.
It can. Okay. So if you leave it in there too long, is it a length of time thing?
Of course, if you're going to put your shells in bleach, I recommend you put, do like a half a container of the water and just do maybe a fourth of the bleach. Not a lot, okay? Yeah. And then I actually recommend putting them like somewhere where the sun's not hitting them, because the sun does a lot of damage.
Because the sun will already bleach some of them. If you find one that's already been really sun bleached, this process might not help bring the color back, right? Because it's already been kind of porous and bleached. So putting it in more bleach is going to make it even worse, right?
Exactly.
So just be careful. Don't acid dip or bleach something that's already been like really beach worn, because you'll lose whatever color's still in it. So.
Yes, exactly.
Good. Cool.
Let's do some of the scallops, because they have a little buildup on them.
Yeah.
So we'll check those out. And guys, I've taken my mask off because we are in a vented area, so it's okay.
It's very windy.
Yes.
We're actually kind of chilly this morning.
Yeah, and you always want to do this outside. But if it's real windy, it's okay without the mask.
Now, while you're doing that, Amanda, what about if your shell is super stinky? Like maybe you have a gastropod, like a cone, and he's still got... bits maybe still inside, still a little gooey. Is this process going to help with that?
No.
Or is that a different...
No, and the only thing that does work with that, of course, you're going to soak him with your bleach and water.
Bleach and water.
And you're going to let him dry. And then you're like, whoa, still stinky, I have found that nothing works with that. The only thing that does work, you go in your backyard and you dig a hole about foot and a half deep. You put your shells inside, cover them back up. Be sure you mark them with the flag so you don't forget where you put them.
Right.
And you're going to leave them in your yard for 4 to 6 weeks. Then you're going to go back out and dig them up and do your same process with your bleach and water.
Really?
Because the bugs clean them out.
The bugs will eat it. Ew. All
That's
right.
the only way that cures it. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, let's move on.
Yes, let's do this scallop.
Good to know.
So this guy has a little bit of calcium. His color will completely change. It'll be so bright.
Wow. Yeah. Look at that. The scallops, man, they're just super vibrant after they've been dipped. Look at that.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Let's do this little horse conch, because he's got a little bit of buildup. Let's get him cleaned up.
This is kind of satisfying, I'm not going to lie.
Especially
to watch it like fizz.
Oh, it is. It's like, wow.
Wow, look at that.
And a lot of people will say, look, that shell's bleached out. I'm not going to get that. I don't want that. And they'll throw them down because they just don't know the correct process of how to do that. To take care of them. That's why we're doing this, to show you. Yeah, he's giving me issues.
Big old cones.
Woo-hoo. Get out of there, big guy. And this happens too. You might lose your shell for too long and you don't want to ruin it. Just get him out. Come
There
on.
you go.
Stubborn. He's stubborn because he stinks most of the time, and now he's acting up in the water.
Yeah. There you go. Look at that.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's dip another one. This guy's big, so we'll be able to tell the difference with him. See his calcium.
Mm-hmm.
And you know it's got calcium because that's what your fizz is, okay? It's eating it off.
Wow. Look at that.
And he's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous conch.
Pretty.
Yes, yes.
All right. So how do you apply your mineral oil? Do you have a special technique, or do you just pour in a bowl and roll them around, or?
Well, what we're supposed to do, I'll show you. What we're supposed to do is, like, once your shell dries. Did we do this one first?
Yes.
I think we did. Once he dries, the correct way to do this is you take a little paintbrush. First of all, your mineral oil. You can get that at Walmart, the dollar store. It don't matter. Just get the cheapest. Mineral oil is mineral oil. So you get a little child's like paintbrush.
Oh, you got it in a bowl there.
Yeah, I got it in a little bowl. And then I'm going to just coat him in the mineral oil, okay? I'm just going to coat him real good. And when you look in them, when you see that it's white, it's like, gosh, he is starving for some moisture. So you're going to cover him up, okay? So then even at that, say he's slicky. It's like, oh, and he's too slicky. So you just take your paper towel, and you're going to wipe off the excess, okay?
Okay.
You're just going to clean him up. And then what you do, once you clean him up, and he's not real slicky, and if he's leaking oil, okay, you've got to help him out. So you're going to clean him out. So then there you have your shell. You got your beautiful shell. And then when you do them that way, however you're going to store them or whatever, I would personally put all the horse conchs in one container, and they're going to be shiny and beautiful. And it stays like that.
So the mineral oil, I've heard some people say, makes them sticky. So if you have like pets in the home, for example, and you put them in maybe jars, try to put it in a jar with a lid so that you don't get cat hair or whatever stuck to them, because they will be really slick and they'll be super wet and they look amazing. And the last thing you want to do is have to dust them all. So
Exactly.
definitely try to store them in a place where you got a lid or an enclosure, shadow boxes, you know, things like that. People get so creative with their artwork.
And the good news about that is I've been shelling for 8 years. And I've done this for 8 years, and I've never had to go in and recoat or clean.
Good. So you don't have to reapply this process?
No. You don't ever have to reapply this.
Wow, okay. So the mineral oil just kind of sticks.
Yes.
Okay.
It kind of like soaks in, I think, you know, and it just brings back their natural color. And it just makes a huge difference.
Have you ever used baby oil or any other type of oil? Why mineral oil?
I haven't used baby oil. You know, I'm not sure, but
It's what works for you.
And it was recommended baby oil or mineral oil. Mineral was cheaper for one thing.
Okay, I like
that. So
that.
I just got the mineral oil, and it's the same.
Yeah,
you know, basically the same.
Cool.
But,
and the muriatic acid, if somebody wanted to buy that, where would you get that? What kind of price range are we talking for that? A big jug?
Well, you can get this you can get it anywhere. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it at hardware stores, Home Depot.
Home Depot, Lowe's, yep.
Yeah, and you know, to be honest, I'd say $8 to $12 because my husband always buys it. I never know. I never know.
I think you're about right. It's about $12 for a big jug.
Yes.
Now, of course, you want to store it properly if you're not using it, because you're not going to use all of it at once unless you're doing a huge load's worth.
Exactly.
But they usually use muriatic acid to clean like driveways and swimming pools and stuff like that. So any store near you that would have product like that, that's probably where you'll be able to get it. So let's talk about how to bleach the shells. Like if you're going to soak the skin off of, say, your giant horse conch there, which is fabulously large, might I say.
Yes.
A little jealous here of your shell.
Yeah.
So tell us about the bleaching process.
Okay, if I was going to bleach this big guy, okay, and you see he's huge, okay, and he's full of his skin, which some people like the natural, some people don't, but we're going to bleach him, okay? So I'm going to take my 5-gallon bucket, and I'm going to fill him up probably about half of water.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add, and I recommend Clorox bleach, because if you get off-brand, it doesn't really work.
Oh.
And I have spent lots of money,
Not
so I figured it out.
sponsored by Clorox.
No, yeah, exactly. So you're going to get a good brand, your Clorox, and then you're going to pour the whole thing in here. Pour it all in here. So what you can do, then you put your shell in, okay? And it can set, it doesn't matter. A lot of people want to check it the next day. It's probably still going to be a little perchlostrum. And then if he has barnacles on him, you take him out. Every time you go to look, daily, you take him out and you start hitting him, hitting him again to get the barnacles off. Because he's going to have a skin underneath the barnacles. So then you're going to put him back in the same water, and then he's going to turn the white. And sometimes I leave him a week. I've even left him 2 weeks. It doesn't hurt the shell.
Okay.
It don't hurt the shell at all because he's so hard. You know, he's just a really durable shell, but
Yeah.
you just soak him.
Yeah.
And then you just check. If you want to shake him every day, you shake him every day. But now he's going to turn the cream.
The cream,
The
yeah.
cream color. Solid, you'll have no skin. Or if he's orange, which that's a bonus.
Yeah.
He will be totally orange.
Yeah.
He'll be like this.
Yeah. Well, that's
Which is a
something we
prize,
talk
yeah.
about in the horse conch episode. You know, when they start their life, they're super vibrant orange when they're babies, and then they kind of grow to this faded beige brown and then into this cream color. And when you find them a lot, they'll have that skin on it, so they'll look super dark. They might look like a rock at first.
Yes.
And then, but once you clean it, it's this beautiful color underneath.
Oh my gosh,
Now, you
yes.
mentioned something I do want to touch on too. The density of the shell is what makes it really good for this whole process, right? But what if you have something super thin, like jingle shells, you know what I mean? Like maybe something super delicate, paper figs. Is that also something that we wouldn't want to dip in acid?
I probably wouldn't personally.
Okay.
And I never have.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've never tried because I'm afraid to, you know, burn a hole through it. Because what the acid does really is it just strips the outside calcium layer. So if you have a very thin layer to begin with, you really wouldn't want to dip it, right? Okay. But you might be able to wash it with soap and water.
Oh yeah, you can do soap and water. And the only thing I have dipped that's fragile is angel wings. They do good.
Wings.
They do good.
Okay, angel wings are good. Okay, good,
Yes,
good to
they
know.
are.
All right. Do you have anything else you'd like to share? What about? Oh, well, let's talk about disposal. How would you dispose the acid?
Good question. Okay.
Because it's bubbling.
Yeah, and it's so dangerous. Okay, so
Right.
we got to dispose of it properly. So you're actually going to get another bowl. That's glass, and you're going to take the acid bowl and pour it into the new bowl.
Okay.
Okay. Then you're going to take. You can actually take the water. Pour your water in as well.
Okay.
So then you're going to take baking soda.
Ooh.
Okay. You're going to take baking soda, and all you're going to do is pour baking soda in it, and then it's going to fizz, okay? Because you know
Right.
baking soda fizzes. That's why you need to get another container that's bigger, because it's going to fizz over your container.
Right. So it's going to start to like, what's the word? To calm it down, right?
Yes.
To cancel out the acidity. Okay.
Yes, but it's going to foam.
It's going to foam up, right?
Okay.
Don't breathe that in.
No, don't breathe that in. That's when
Right.
you put your mask back up. So you're going to add baking soda, let it fizz a little bit. Then you're going to add more baking soda. Just kind of wait till the fizz goes a little down. But once you get it down where it's not fizzing anymore, that means it's diluted enough to do what you need to do.
Great.
Then you take it in your house and you pour it in your toilet.
In your
and
toilet?
You flush it down.
Huh?
Yes, because
Really?
it's so diluted.
Okay.
It's okay, but that's the only way.
Once it's diluted.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Don't just pour straight acid down your
No.
tubes.
That's why
Okay.
we do the baking soda.
And
so
you
it
wouldn't
stops
want to
fizzing.
pour it outside because then you get all the chemicals in your yard, and that's
Animals might
obviously
come and take a
right,
big
not
lick.
good for it.
Yeah,
So
that'd be
okay,
bad.
good to know. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thank
I appreciate your
you.
time. You have amazing collections. Guys, we're going to wrap up here shortly. We're going to get a couple close-ups so you guys can see. And I hope that you practice safely. And again, start with a shell that you're not in love with, just in case.
Yes.
If you need to change your solution a little bit, you know, find what works for you. If the acid's a little too harsh, you know, maybe add some more water, make it a little bit less acid in your next mixture and so on. But good luck. Again, please follow all the safety labels and warnings on your bottles. If you're using chemicals, make sure that you follow the manufacturer recommendations for disposal. But we'll see you next time, okay? Thanks so much. Bye. Everybody, thanks so much for joining us on another episode of Treasure Seekers Virtual Adventures. I hope you learned a lot. I know I always do from our guests. We're going to be releasing more and more episodes as the months go by, so don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media to see all of our daily finds. Happy shelling, everybody.